Face front, you fantastic believers. This is Modular Media's No Prize Podcast, podcast where we talk comics, movies, merchandise, and more. It is the end of the year. It is the end of a lot of things. I'm your host, Boinga Ryder, and with me, as always, in the bullpen.
Representing the end of competition, the Vacuuminator is here.
Damn. Diggity damn darn it.
Final mission. In stereo, no less.
Final mission, final broadcast. Not final broadcast, we'll figure something out. But
it's my final broadcast.
For now.
Yeah.
So far. I'll do that Homer joke from the movie.
Look, we all know the bit. YouTubers are a bit like professional wrestlers. Nobody's ever really truly retired. I'm sure one day you'll see me again, but it's not going to be for a good long time, and it's probably not going to be using the name The Vacuuminator.
But, Vac is retiring, and I am sick. So, if I sound weird, that's why.
You got the deep voice going on. You actually sound a bit like Roger Corman does now. I watched his Criterion Closet video today, and I was like, damn, he's like, he clearly shows his age. He's 97 years old. He's as old as David Attenborough, but he's still fairly spry for his age.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of the you got to give it up to a lot of those cheapo filmmakers from back in the day, you know. It's so easy to make a Sharknado now. It's so easy to make something like that. Back in the day, you actually had to work to get $1 million to make a shitty movie.
Yeah.
But we have, for the finality of the year, been talking about our own mini marathon of classic comic book movies. We've talked about Superman. We've talked about Spider-Man, The Amazing Spider-Man. Which other ones did we do?
We did The Batman versus Dracula.
Yeah, classic animated flick.
We did Spawn.
We went
the most classic.
We went from Spawn to Superman, and it's just like, oh, this is just Spawn is just an edgy ripoff of that movie specifically.
A little bit.
But we are ending up with probably one of has the most interesting history of any comic book movie. Mm-hmm. Has some of the most fascinating fandom around it, and has some of the most interesting just respect and just like all this kind of stuff. We're talking about Roger Corman's 1994 The Fantastic Four,
which feels like a movie from 1974. I'm just going to be honest with the production value.
It feels like the pilot, made for TV movie pilot for an ongoing Fantastic Four show.
Yeah, a little bit.
Because tell me this didn't feel like 90s Flash.
A little bit, yeah. Although I'm not going to lie, this was my first time watching this in full. I'd seen clips before, and I was always like, it's kind of charming. I like it. On the whole, I actually do really like this movie. I only have one major complaint about it as a movie, but I actually think for the time it's a fairly good adaptation, and I'm gonna agree with the contrarian fanboy opinion. This is still the best Fantastic Four movie ever made.
Imagine this movie with 05's budget and production, and that would be the perfect one.
Mm-hmm.
But this was, for people who aren't aware, an ash can movie. Now, Vac, are you aware of what an ash can movie is?
Little bit. I'm not a huge film buff, but I do know some terminology inside out. This essentially means that it was made in order to reuse some assets and secure the rights for a while longer, correct?
Yeah, but it was just made to say they made it, never to be released. It was purposely just like, we're doing this to maintain our rights.
Yeah.
Which nobody in the production knew until it was over. Nobody in the cast, nobody in the crew, none of the production staff, only the executives knew that, and everyone was heartbroken after the fact. It was just like, They understood that this was a budget movie, that this wasn't the best thing in the world, but they put a lot
Hmm.
of heart and they put a lot of effort in. And the fact that as time gone on, people see this movie in a warm light, in a loving light, and just like, yeah, this is Fantastic Four. It's it's not it's not as good as like, hey, the movie should have been released and them getting their kudos, but people love them.
Yeah. Like it's decent. These people definitely do deserve their flowers because the effects are pretty solid for the time for a low budget film,
Mm-hmm.
and all the performances I'd say are pretty good. It feels like everybody wants to be here and they're doing the best they can with the material they have, which isn't all that bad material. It's a
No.
solid script.
It is, and like it's a very quintessential fan. They didn't try to fuck with the Fantastic Four. It is a very
Mhm.
quintessential Fantastic Four story.
Yeah, the only thing that I can say like really deviates from the movie or from the comics I should say is that the mole man has like a weird obsession with uh oh gosh, her name just dropped out of my head.
Alicia,
Felicia, yeah.
um,
Or no, Alicia.
Alicia. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
That's technically not the Mole Man.
Okay, who's it supposed to be? Cuz
That's a
I
new
really
character called the Jeweler, which is just the Mole Man with the serial numbers filed off because they didn't want
oh,
to do monsters.
I really thought it was the mole man, and now I'm like, okay, well, when's the mole man gonna show? When's the jeweler gonna show up in a comic? Damn it!
No, it's just the Mole Man. It's just the Mole Man that just didn't want to do monsters and explain the whole thing. So it's just like, I'm obsessed with this jewel and lady,
Hmm.
and I'm very problematic with handicaps because I think being blind makes you a freak.
Yeah, that's some old school comic stuff for you right there. There's a lot of like, this is kind of weird, but it's harkening back to old school comic stuff, like the huge age difference between Reed and Sue.
Oh, it's not that huge. She's like 14, 15 when he's like 21, 22. They
Hmm.
meet back up
But
10 years later.
visually, in that first scene, you're like, what?
Yeah. They meet back up when they're 10 years later when he's like 31, 32, and she's like 25.
Hmm.
That's not that huge of a difference.
It really isn't, but I could see like a lot of I could see a video essayist running with that and having like a thumbnail of like this Fantastic Four movie did what?
Yeah. But it's very true to the comics. Ben feels like Ben, Johnny feels like Johnny.
Oh yeah, this is the most Johnny I've seen. Even in the context of modern comics, because modern Johnny has a bit more pathos to him. Like this is the most just classic goofball Johnny I've seen in a long time, and it was really delightful.
Yeah. Taking that idea. Have at it. Have at it. Have at it and say that the 1994 Fantastic Four movie is problematic.
Yeah, let's go. Let's get out here with our clickbait. All right.
But yeah, no, it's a very classic Fantastic Four story. It shows the origin of Victor.
Yeah. And I love that Victor's just a petty asshole in this.
I mean, that's classic Victor Von Doom.
Mm-hmm. It's there's no complicated like overarching dynamics or anything like that. It is just nope, he's a petty asshole. He has a whole micronation behind him and he has delusions of grandeur. But when it comes down to it, Reed is just able to throw him off a cliff with three punches.
Yeah. Um, and he does the full a whole fucking geese thing from Fatal Fury of just like, no, I'm not gonna let you save me. Bye.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And then they have the balls to sequel bait in this movie.
that they thought this movie that they thought they were gonna get released and people were gonna enjoy it. People did enjoy it,
Mm-hmm.
and they were going like, maybe we can get a sequel and we can do more things.
God, it's so insane that this movie still to this day has not seen an official release. You'd think, like, I almost think when the MCU Fantastic Four movie actually comes out, Disney Plus should do like a big special event, like, hey, we bought the rights, we restored it as best we could. Here it is on streaming, kind of a thing.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Because
You know,
this was like one of the original convention bootleg pickup
oh, it
movies.
was this in a holiday special.
Mm-hmm. And eventually the Justice League live action TV show joined it.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are like the holy trinity of like the old school convention, like what this exists kind of a thing
Yeah.
before the internet got huge, and now you can just go and pull this up on YouTube, the whole thing.
There's even people who have tried to do some HD restorations on it.
Mm.
It's okay. It just makes it a little bit clearer.
Okay. I did just watch one of the YouTube uploads today because I
Yeah.
was just like, let's just see. And it wasn't too bad. There were a few scenes where I was like, this is really dark. I can't really see what's going on, but it's not like I was missing a whole lot.
But a few years later, Reed is going like, "All right, I want to get into that cloud that me and Victor were trying to study, but we fucked
Mhm.
up." Um,
Man, a Fantastic Four movie where a cloud isn't like horribly bemoaned.
yeah, because it's just cosmic ray bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and basically, everything was going to work right. Reed had all the calculations correct, but his engine diamond got stolen, so they were like the ship was sabotaged.
Yeah, which is a change I could imagine some people taking some issue with because part of the inherent pathos of the FF is that it's Reed's fault that the powers happened. But for like a more contained movie plot, I think it's an okay change.
Yeah, especially because it you're able to more easily sympathize with Reed the whole way through. Where
Hmm.
you got to have like a little bit of a big brain to sympathize with the Reed in the comics and other adaptations.
Yeah, and a lot of like the sympathizing with him in the comics, like it was just the fact that the accident was his fault was kind of glossed over in the original comic, and then that stuff was sort of added back in with later runs.
Yeah, John Byrne, Hickman, Wade.
Yeah, they all kind of expanded it and made it into what we know as Reed being this very vast, multifaceted character now.
I love Wade's interpretation of just like I fucked up, so I did everything in my power to give them as good of a life as I could, making them celebrities, making them giving them everything they'd want, making them well loved and beloved by the community, and hopefully that can make up for the lives I took away from them.
Hmm. And like you do get little hints of that here. Like the actor does a good job at like portraying some of the more subtleties of Reed because it can be easy to read as just a sort of stoic asshole, but like I feel like he plays it in a way where you can tell like he's always thinking about something, he's always trying to get to the next step, and just occasionally he loses the moment and people have to go like, hey, come back to us, Stretcho.
Yeah, there's great moments where like something happens and everyone's just like freaking out and Reed's just like I am so disappointed in the world just leading us to this moment.
Hmm.
It's just like
Or like there's moments where he calms both Johnny and Ben down. He's like, hey, we're gonna figure this out. Give me a second.
yeah. They go up, they get the powers, and they land in Latveria,
Hmm.
which I think is a great way to like truncate what the Fantastic Four stuff, Doctor Doom, all that kind of jazz.
Yeah, just get everybody in the same room real quick.
Yeah. Uh Cause sure as hell they ain't they're not gonna be able to film outside in New York.
Hmm.
Because we
Oh,
never
that would
see
be interesting if they just went full like oh god, what's that movie, The Miami Connection or whatever it is, where
yeah.
they're just like running and gunning at 2 a.m.
Oh yeah. There was a recent movie that was I can't remember its name, but it was about like a trans woman in Miami, all filmed on iPhone.
Hmm.
Just like real down dirty filmmaking. It's like, oh, that's really cool. Um
Interesting.
uh But yeah, no, and then it just turns into a Fantastic Four story. They find out they have powers. The Thing gets pissed.
Hmm. Which, by the way, for the time, the effects for the powers are pretty solid, I think.
The, like they are ropey, but
Hmm.
they aren't the worst of ropiness. Like
The only one where it's like consistently awkward is Reed, I'd say. They're constantly like finding really clever angles to film around the fact that they can't actually like stretch his body.
yeah, um, and like I said, it's very TV budget. It's very TV show the way they do it.
Mhm.
It's like I could totally see this being a consistent TV show.
Yeah, Johnny only does a full body flame on once, and it's in the climax. The rest of the time, he's just throwing fireballs. Every time Sue turns invisible, it's very obvious that she's standing on a blue screen.
Yeah, or they did two shots and composited them together.
Hmm.
Uh,
And Ben just looks like he walked off a Toei set.
Ben just walked off of fucking TMNT 3.
Yeah, he's even got like the same like lower level of animatronics in his mouth.
Yeah, just the lips just keep moving, and it's just like we we can't show a lot of things, but we can move those lips.
Yeah, I do love how they handle the transition to him being the Rocky guy, though, where it's just like one shot, all of a sudden the soldiers are freaking out, and you cut back, and he's just a rock monster. He's like, "What? What happened?"
I don't feel nothing,
Yeah,
Ben. Oh God.
and then he fucking loses it. That's a really good way to play it.
Uh,
Um,
Doctor Doom looks okay.
yeah, it's a little obvious that his mask is paper mache, but it's not like the worst thing I've ever seen.
I don't think the mask is paper mache. I think there's the big thing. The mask isn't big enough because you see his jaw juts out from it every once in a while whenever he's
Yeah.
being very articulate.
But I mean, it looks better than like some cosplays you used to see back
Yeah.
in the early 2010s. Um, man, that's another weird thing about like nerd culture. Talking about like this movie being a relic of early convention days, you almost never see crappy cosplays anymore.
Well,
It's
I think cosplayers just shared their techniques, and now everybody's like trying to learn and improve themselves. You know?
Yeah, but it is interesting how there's no gradient to cosplay anymore. This is totally off topic, but there's like no gradient to cosplay anymore. It used to be like you had kind of crappy homemade ones, then you had the Halloween store, then you had the decent homemade one, and you had the oh, you spent a whole year on this. And now it's like all you ever see is somebody wearing a Halloween costume or oh, you spent a whole year on this.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I like knowing and seeing some of the techniques and videos. They some of those are not as time consuming as you might think.
Fair enough. Yeah. I know, like, thanks to stuff like 3D printing, it has gotten easier.
Hmm. But yeah, the Fantastic Four, they win the day. They beat Doctor Doom after convolution.
Hmm. You see, like, freaking Star Trek 2 level CGI on Johnny.
It's not the worst thing in the world. It works for, again, like I keep saying, it works for like a TV show pilot.
Yeah, it's really charming. Like I said, almost all the limitations of this movie, because there is one thing that bugs me, and I'll talk about it in a second. But almost all the limitations with this movie are like actually charming. Like it looks like a fan film with a budget, and the fact that everybody really cares and is doing their best makes it really fun to watch. The only thing that's really holding it back, I would say, is the score because this what bits of score you get are good, but Christ alive, it is so repetitive and they loop it around so many times that by the time you're halfway through the movie, you're like, I've had enough of this music, please.
Yeah, like here's the thing. If this score was made like 5 years later, all the digital technology that one guy could do out of a bedroom to make a better
Hmm.
score, or it could have just went full synth work like a John Carpenter flick,
Oh yeah,
which just as cheap, just as easy, and probably would have worked 10 times better for the FF.
definitely. So, like I do like that main theme, but it every time something remotely heroic happens, they play it,
Yeah.
and then they have that. that really sappy theme that happens anytime anything remotely emotional or wholesome happens.
But they win the day, and it ends on Reed and Sue getting married.
Yeah, and I love that Sue's the only one not wearing a uniform in
Well,
that scene.
that's how it was in the comic.
Was it? I haven't read the wedding issue in so long.
Yeah, the wedding issue, everyone's wearing their superhero uniforms except Sue. Sue is in a
Hmm.
very of the time 60s wedding dress.
That's fun. Man, I gotta reread that. That is a genuine hood classic right there. The
Uh,
FF wedding issue.
so real quick, Victor, pretty damn good Victor.
Yeah.
Good Victor Von Doom, solid, gaunt, in a good way.
Mm-hmm.
Can yell, really good Richards.
Great Richards. I really like this read.
Uh, I was more saying like Doom had a good Richards, but yeah.
Oh, yeah. He only says it like once or twice, so it didn't really stick with me.
But yeah, let's talk Reed. Reed's good, solid. He does well with the character. He's likable, but still that
Mhm.
kind of standoffish science man.
The hair's maybe a tad overdone, I'd say would be my one complaint.
Yeah, but I think it's just more like we gotta get that in there.
Yeah.
You know?
It's just the fact that it looks deliberately styled. I'm like, Reed is not a guy who styles his hair. I'm sorry.
Yeah. When are we gonna get Buzzcut Reed, who doesn't give a shit and just buzzes it?
That might be what the MCU one is if they actually cast Pedro Pascal.
Yeah. Uh, but Reed's good. He's solid. He looks like Reed. He feels like a Reed. Sue feels Sue-ish.
She feels a little dumbed down. Let's be honest
Yeah.
here. There's not a lot of scientists. There's not a lot of like brave badass woman. It is very much like early Leon Kirby. She is the girl.
Yeah, she
Sue.
is the invisible girl.
Mm-hmm.
She's not the invisible woman. She's the invisible girl.
Yeah. It's funny. That's one of those things about Marvel that you feel like has just always been that way, but then you go back and you realize like, oh, it took a while for them to get there.
Yeah, it was Byrne. It was Byrne
Her
who did
being
that.
the Invisible Woman and War Machine existing are like things that I'm like, those have been around forever with those characters, right? Nope, War Machine was not invented until the 90s.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Michelini, the creator of Rhodes, didn't want him wearing armor.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, he's repeatedly said in interviews where people will be like, "So you created War Machine?" He's like, "No, I created Jim Rhodes. I created a guy. I created Iron Man's best friend. I did not create War Machine, a toy." It's one of those.
Yeah. And I would just look him in the eye and go, "Sir, War Machine's the only reason people still care about that character."
Mhm. Good evening, Axel.
Hello, we're talking about the 1994 Fantastic Four movie. Uh, and Sue's a little bit of a disappointment, but not like she's still a fun character. She still
Mhm.
works.
She gets a couple moments.
Yeah, she makes suits.
Yeah.
Well, last time we'll be seeing Beck, yeah. And I'm probably gonna retool the show in some way.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. Ain't the end of the world.
End of the year. Time for a change.
Yeah.
You'll get used to it.
Johnny, we talked a little bit about him, but pretty damn good Johnny.
Yeah, I love that he's introduced playing video games with Ben. That's such a cute little touch.
It's very contemporary of then, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's nice. Like, we get a lot of the young, hothead younger brother, but we don't get enough of the, like, teen heartthrob because we barely go outside of their 3 rooms.
Yeah.
The 3 sets that they built.
Yeah, the free big sets. And they had a weekend to shoot at a college campus.
Yeah. And someone's mother's-in-law's house.
Yeah.
What Vac does after he quits isn't any of our business because he's not making content. We don't know about that.
Yeah.
He could be becoming a furry for all we know. He could be joining a nudist colony.
All decent possibilities.
He could be running for president. We don't know.
Another decent possibility.
You know what's also pretty decent? This thing.
That's a good thing. I like that thing.
Like, I don't. Has there been a bad thing in one of these movies?
You know, I've never actually sat down and watched Fan Four Sticks, so I can't tell you for sure.
But Michael Chiklis is a pretty good thing. This is a pretty decent thing.
Yeah, I like Fang in most of the cartoons.
It's hard to fuck up thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
He doesn't quite have the charm Ben does. They focused a lot on like the sort of turmoil and trauma of his character in this.
But we do see some of that charm when he's Ben.
Mm-hmm.
Because he, like, I love the line where they're knocking on the Storm's house and Reed's going like, I'm not so sure. And Ben just goes like, they are the ones who would probably know the most about your project other than me and you. Then Johnny and Sue's mom opens the door and just goes like, can Johnny and Sue come play astronauts with us? And it's like, that's a very charming Ben way of saying that.
Mm-hmm.
And we get like 5 clobbering times.
Yeah, they knew that was the line. You got to get that in there.
Here's the thing. You know damn well whenever we get an MCU Fantastic Four, they're going to tease the fuck out of that till
Oh
the
yeah,
climax.
that's not happening till the third act. And when it does, they're gonna make it the most impactful thing in the world so that they can sell dozens and dozens of T-shirts.
It's clobbering time. Yeah. Did you ever watch Power Rangers Comic Theory back?
Oh, Cosmic Fury. Yeah, I watched it.
I didn't. That's the answer.
Yep. There you go.
Thinking about that, this is what, 1994? This is 1 year before Power Rangers. It has
No, this is 1 year after Power Rangers. Power Rangers is 93.
I always forget it. I know it's not 94, but I know it's on one side or the other. I was going like, oh, 95. No, it's 93. Yeah. But like thinking about that, this feels like Power Rangers, like production wise.
See, I always think about it like I'm a 97 baby. So I like to think of it as like, oh yeah, I was born the year Mighty Morphin died.
95 is the MMPR movie, right? With Ivan Ooze, one of the best original villains.
Yeah, Ivan Ooze, who only looks slightly better than the Thing in this movie.
Yeah. Oh man. Thinking about it though, I think a lot of the problems of quality of this movie, other than like one set, I have like a nitpick with one set in this movie.
Okay.
It feels very like 95's MMPR, you know?
A little bit. Yeah.
If it was proper released film quality, not the VHS strip that we have, it'd probably look a lot better. It'd probably feel a lot better.
Yeah.
By the way, the one said it's the prison scene. Because it's just a hallway.
Yeah. That does have one of the best effects in the movie, though, where they're like, all right, we're going to beat up the guards. Just spin the frame. Just spin it.
It's very 60s Batman in that way.
Mm-hmm.
Super Sentai
Actually, Super Sentai never dies.
Yeah. The next season's all racing theme, and it has divided the fan base super heavily because the suits are very goofy looking, but I like them. Zach is like in the camp of not.
Here's my here's my one and only statement on Boon Boonger, since this is my last appearance.
Okay. Real quick, 5-second twit.
I think they did a fantastic job designing the suits around car racing aesthetics. I don't like those aesthetics.
And honestly, that's all the characters in the movie. It is very focused on the Four and Doom.
Yeah, you get a couple incidental characters. You get like the Doctor, who's fucking evaluating them all, and looks like friggin' Jack Packard from Red Letter Media.
Yeah, and we also get like Alicia Masters is here.
hmm Who she's probably the one actress in the movie where I'd say like she's a little she doesn't got the most talent in the world.
No. Um, but honestly, she's just there for like to give Ben like a hey, you're not an unfuckable rock monster. People will still
hmm
fuck you.
She is literally just damsel in distress.
To kind of give Ben a little bit of context in his new situation.
hmm
You know,
And then there's the jeweler.
the, he's Mole Man. He's fucking Mole Man.
uh,
They just called him something different because they couldn't do everything with Mole Man.
You know what's funny? Being a child of the 2000s, I watched The Incredibles before I ever had a really good handle on what the Fantastic Four was.
Yeah.
So I still to this day, whenever I see Mole Man or a character that's clearly supposed to be Mole Man, I first start to call him the Underminer, and then I have to correct myself.
Yeah. It's wild just how blatant The Incredibles takes from the Fantastic Four without being a direct ripoff of them.
I know people who say that's the best Fantastic Four movie, and I'm like, I can't argue with you too hard, but like it's not literally called the Fantastic Four.
Also, it's not the same dynamic.
hmm
And that's part of the whole big charm of the Fantastic Four, which this movie gets right. It's the brainy guy trying to keep everybody on track. It's Ben going, woe is me. It's Sue being the emotional center and Johnny being like, hey, I'm lighting shit on fire.
Yeah, it's also that the FF is a found family that becomes a blood family over time, whereas the Incredibles is a literal blood family from the jump.
Yeah. You know what I want to see?
What do you want to see?
At the end of all this multiverse stuff, when they have like, hey, look at all these people coming together to fight the big bad.
You want to see this Reed come back?
I want to see this Fantastic Four come through a portal going, hey, guys, we've been seeing some readings. You need some help?
I don't know if I could go that hard, but I would love it if this cast got like a cameo in the MCU movie.
Yeah, that'd be fun. You know what? It'd be fun to see like any previous FF actor come back for a cameo.
There should be a scene where like the Reed in the FF movie of the MCU is just like walking into a store or something, and all the other shoppers are the other guys who have played Reed.
No, you do that scene in the movie, and that's when he's like, that's when the celebrities starting to like impact the FF and like people are doing all that kind of stuff, and you see all the other actors and go like, "You having a tough time, guy?" And like, you have no idea. And then we have a post-credit scene of just screens, and we have all of them going like, "This new Reed, can he
You
come
want
to
the Council of Reed, you fucking nerd.
can this Reed join the council?" I don't think he's ready yet.
See, I was almost thinking like you do the Hollywood Boulevard thing, and you have there be an FF impersonator troupe, and it's each member of the team is an actor from one of the different projects.
But this is a delightful movie.
Yeah, it's very fun. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's a little rough around the edges, but it's worth a little sit down and watch.
And, you know, it's just fun to have in the back pocket. It's also just a testament to the power of like earnest creativity. Because these guys put all their heart and soul into making this movie, wanting it to be the best thing it could be, and it got shit canned by executives. Yet it got leaked out, and everybody who sees it goes like, "This is fun. This is delightful," and you did a good job. You know, creative endeavors, earnestly done, will often be rewarded.
Yeah. And also, like, don't slag off Roger Corman for this. He was just doing a job.
Yeah. Roger Corman's just an executive producer, dudes.
You can slag Roger Corman off for a lot of things, but this movie is not one of them.
Also, I started watching the behind the scenes documentary that was made in
Mm-hmm.
2015. Apparently, they went to Troma first,
Wow.
and Troma was just like, "Look, I be fun to do, but I know damn well if we did it, we'd piss everyone off because it's Troma, you know."
That's funny. That means there were some comic nerds working at Trauma.
Oh yeah, dude, you do realize who was one of the big screenwriters in the '90s for Troma?
I only know Trauma's reputation, if I'm being honest.
James Gunn.
Oh,
That's
okay,
where he
yeah.
got his start.
All right, that makes sense.
He wrote Tromeo and Juliet.
Oh, I did know that. Yeah, I heard that on a podcast a while back. Okay.
Yeah. Like, and when you see that, you see the weirdo B budget aspects in his later movies,
Yeah, definitely.
especially in the dialogue. There's a delightful roughness in the dialogue, but hey,
Mhm.
we talked about
Is it news time?
news time once
And I have a
again.
few final morsels of news on this news eve.
Final morsels of news.
Just a little smackerel, a little smidgen.
Oh boy, we gotta talk about that fucking shit.
Yeah, we got a couple different things to talk about tonight. It's not a big news week, it's the last week of the year, and honestly, you're not gonna get any big announcements until March of next year, but we do have a few things to go over for each category.
Yep. Uh, um,
You
oh,
still consider Megaforce to be the worst Power Ranger season? I don't remember ever rescinding that statement in any way.
um, opinions on Tir Nog.
I actually haven't seen Tir na Nog.
Okay, cool.
I probably should at some point. Everybody who was actually there when it was airing tells me it's like the one genuinely good, not Power Ranger show.
One good Ameritoku show.
Mm-hmm.
Other than
News Year Eve, yes.
News Year Eve. First things
I'm
first.
surprised. I'm surprised Cody hasn't made a video called that.
Tom Wilkinson, Batman Begins, and the Full Monty star, has passed away at 75.
Yeah, this is the guy who played, I believe, Falcone Maroni Carmine Falcone. That's the character's name.
Falcone.
In the Dark Knight trilogy. We don't know his cause of death, but apparently he just passed away suddenly well with his family in England over the holidays. Um, it's obviously always sad to see somebody go, but honestly, I didn't know too much about this guy outside of the Dark Knight movies. Apparently, he's a character actor who's been in a lot of small roles in a lot of things. He's kind of an Alfred Molina type, if you will. Um, but yeah, hopefully his friends and family are handling it as well as they can.
Yep. Deadpool 3, Ryan Reynolds shares new suit photo. Let's look on the Instagram.
Yeah, so he put up the Instagram year-end recap that everybody does, and the final photo in this little reel is a new photo of the Deadpool suit for Deadpool 3, and it's probably the best photo we've gotten of this version of the suit so far. And the interesting thing about the Deadpool movies is the suits don't really change too much from movie to movie. There's very slight changes. And on this one, I was only able to notice one change. Can you guess what that is, Boingo?
The black side panels feel more black.
The
The shape changes a little bit.
the little metal pads on his gloves are gold now. In the first movie, they were just black. It kind of looked like it was just padding in the gloves themselves. Then in the second movie, they made them silver and metal for some reason, and now they're gold.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's up with that. I guess it's just some little touch to differentiate each of
his
them.
belt's also different. It has spiky eyes. Previously, it had little round eyes.
It totally does.
It's a lot of little minor changes. It's a good suit. They nailed it the first time, but
yeah, and I've always appreciated that about Deadpool 1 to Deadpool 2 is just that like they haven't done the thing that pretty much every other modern Marvel movie has done of completely change the suit so we can sell a new toy.
Yeah. They do give you a bunch of new suits though, because Negasonic Teenage Warhead has a suit in that movie. Into
Hmm.
you know
And I mean, in all fairness, they weren't making figures for the Deadpool movies until like a year after Deadpool 2 came out because that was when
they finally
Disney
own
bought
Fox. Yeah.
Fox.
But it looks good. It looks solid. Hope to see more of the movie soon.
Yeah, I'm hearing rumors that there's going to be a trailer at the Super Bowl, so that might be fun.
What if it starts as a trailer for Deadpool and it just turns into an ad for Mint Mobile?
That would be amazing.
You thought you were getting a Deadpool trailer, but it's not. I'm here to talk to you about cell phones. No, I'm kidding. Here's a Deadpool trailer.
No, it's a whole Boost Mobile ad, and then he's like, "All right, now because you set for that, here's the Deadpool trailer."
Mint Mobile. He owns Mint Mobile.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay.
That's why he does all those ads.
All right. I
Uh,
forgot. I actually don't know anything about that. I didn't forget about that.
Batman Returns filmmakers had surprising plans for a Catwoman spinoff. Yeah, they're just like, hey, yeah, we want to do a Catwoman movie.
Yeah, there was a recent interview with Tim Burton where he basically said we had plans to do a Catwoman movie all the way back in the 80s. And I think people had kind of known about this for a long time because the Halle Berry Catwoman movie was supposed to be a Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman movie originally, and then it got stuck in development hell for all those years. Um, and apparently Tim Burton's vision for a Catwoman movie was literally just to remake the old black and white film The Cat People, but with Selena Kyle.
Yeah,
The most Tim Burton ass thing I've heard in a while.
yeah. Other than I don't hire black people because they wouldn't fit my aesthetic. I'm
I
never gonna let
completely
that
forgot about that. Jesus Christ.
go. This is your yearly fuck Tim Burton for that.
Hmm.
Kind of shitty move, dude. James Gunn has hilarious response for fans asking for DC news. Celebrate the holidays. Be with family.
He essentially said, go touch grass. I love it.
Go touch grass. Goddamn, DC fans needed James Gunn to be the head. Purely for moments like this.
Oh my god. So we haven't talked about this movie at all. You have you heard about like the whole fallout to the release of Rebel Moon?
No.
So Rebel Moon is Zack Snyder's first film since officially
Mhm.
leaving the DCEU, and it's essentially a huge fucking Star Wars knockoff, and it bombed really hard, and people have been like defending it up and down in the same way they did the DCEU, and now he's already starting on a like, well, if I had released the cut I wanted to, people would like it a whole lot more campaign. I'm
Oh
like,
my
this
god.
grifting son of a bitch.
Oh my god. Damn. Damn. Damn Danielson.
It's literally just a cult. He's just gonna do the same trick over and over again until he has nobody left to fool. Zack Snyder is this generation's M. Night Shyamalan.
And even then, like, Shyamalan came back and was like, hey, I'm making low budget, like, horror thrillers now. I'm good
Hmm.
again. Oh, yeah? Yeah, I mean, I'm still doing a bunch of twists and shit, but, like, I'm not being overly dramatic about everything. Oh, hell
Yeah,
yeah.
and even then, M. Night has a couple good movies. Zack Snyder really doesn't, unless you like his Watchmen. And
Zack
if you do,
Snyder has a
like,
couple good screensavers.
yeah. But yeah, God
Hey,
bless James Gunn.
hey,
We have our first cover for Blood Hunt, everybody.
yeah. You
This
know
is
what?
funny.
The tagline should say protect your neck. Just go full Wu-Tang.
Yeah. Also, who will bite it? Oh my god.
They are fully going, this is a B movie, fun, goofy event, which I like a lot more, you know?
Mm-hmm. Also, Falcon Cap is going to be in this. I didn't realize.
Jed McKay, he's been doing great stuff on Moon Knight.
Yeah, yeah, just a good writer.
Also,
This will
he's
probably be
writing
decent.
he's writing the continuation of Moon Knight post Mark,
Oh,
which
okay. So
he's
he's
also
probably got like a whole grand plan. Then it's one of those.
yeah. Also, he's been mentioning Mark Spector is dead right now. Like I'm not bringing him back immediately. Who is this new guy? And it's like, oh, this is a lot less cynical than I thought it was. Good job.
Interesting.
And here's the other thing. There's Hunter's Moon and there's Tigra from the Moon Knight book. So it's probably going to have a lot of Moon Knight stuff in it.
Well then.
Yeah, it looks fun. It looks good. I'm excited to see it.
It'll be a Kramik book.
And this other piece of news, congratulations, Amazing Spider-Man. You are no longer the worst Spider-Man book.
I mean, we can be a little bit optimistic. He's coming out of the Dark X-Men arc. Maybe he's going to be a little better.
Yeah. I just have a feeling it's going to be at least 2 issues of bullshit before we start getting on the good foot.
Mm-hmm.
Because Chasm, Curse of Kane and Ben Reilly are gonna be going head to head.
Crazy year for Ben Reilly, because he got like 5 really good new action figures this year. And then in the comics, it's just been a consistent fuck you for liking this character.
Fuck you for liking this character. So much so that the writer for Dark X-Men was talked to the Spider-Man office, said, hey, are you doing anything with Ben now that you've given him this big earth-shattering status quo? No, he's on the shelf right now. We're not doing anything with him. What? Oh, okay.
Jesus. Marvel, everybody.
Spider-Man office. Let's be honest here. Spider-Man office.
Is it an office or is it just a cubicle of one guy frustratingly sending out emails?
I mean, that's how they describe it. It's the X-Men office. It's the Hero office. It's Spider office. I don't know. There is a minor bit of optimism because this is being written by the guy who did it, Dark X-Men. And that series was pretty good. So, hey, Boom is releasing some Mighty Morphin Power Rangers stuff.
Yep, they released the official previews for the return, which means we now see what all the covers for the first issue and the first couple pages of art are going to look like. Oh boy, I'm so excited. I'm so excited for Amy Jo Johnson's Vanity Project. Everybody, aren't you so excited for the Kramik book Amy Jo Johnson wrote instead of just going to the fucking reunion like a normal person?
Yeah.
Fuck this comic, fuck Power Rangers, fuck Tokusatsu fans. I don't want to be involved with this community for a long time.
Hey, you're in my Discord server. You have to be at least a little involved.
Oh, I'll snipe and snip every once in a while, but I'm not fucking.
What I'm saying is like, hey, it's the community that you engage yourself with. Yeah. And my community in my Discord server, pretty okay.
Yeah.
It's not the end of the world in my mind. Hey, guess what? Hot Toys is doing another What If. Sakaran Iron Man.
Yeah, this is apparently in one of the recent episodes, and it's a decent looking armor. Very Boingo Core, I think.
Very Hulkbuster, very colorful, very Sakaar. A lot of fun designs, a lot of little elements. It's really cool.
Yeah. I haven't seen the episode, and I probably won't get this figure of it, but they do a Marvel Legends, maybe if I one day get that money and that psycho mode mentality to just make a big Hall of Armor display.
Yeah. But it's neat.
Yeah.
It's neat.
It do be a hot toy.
Marvel Comics pocket cover mini maquettes from Toy Sapiens.
Yes, so this is a new line of Japanese soft vinyls that are essentially going to be the same sort of scale as the Ultraman and Super Sentai and Kamen Rider soft vinyls. They're not going to have the articulation of those though. These are
Like the
just
one you got me
figurines.
from for Christmas.
Yeah. These are just going to be little figurines, and the big gimmick with this line is the cover variant backer cards, which each figure is going to have a regular backer card, a chase, and a rare with varying levels of limitedness to them, and they're obviously each going to be a different comic book cover. And they're not doing anything to make it look like toy packaging. It is just straight up, here is this comic book cover as a backer card, which is an interesting little gimmick. This is kind of a decent replacement for the Hasbro retro 5 POA figures if you were really into that line. But personally, this doesn't do a whole lot for me. I just thought, hey, it's neat somebody's doing that. It's only $20 for a little imported vinyl figure from Japan of your favorite Marvel hero, and one of the backer cards is freaking Chaos on Campus.
Yeah, it's neat. Yeah, these are the rare ones, which seems to be all the more classic covers.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah,
Yeah. So get on your favorite import site and order one today if you're so inclined.
yeah, you know. We also got Batman from Batman v Superman teased by our good friend of the podcast. He's made several appearances throughout the year.
Friend of the show, Todd McFarlane here to tell you all about the latest Batman in my Batman multiverse, I mean DC multiverse toy line. It's Batman from Batman v Superman. Can you believe I haven't done this sexy, sexy outfit with all the articulation yet? Neither can I, but here it is coming right to you at some point in the new year. Please be excited.
Is there an electronic gimmick where you press a button and it says Martha?
Oh God, I hope so, but probably not. Uh, it's so funny that he teased this frickin' suit like this when this has probably the most modern figures of any Batman design because it came out right at that boom of import companies doing comic book movie figures.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
It's happening.
it's him.
All you Snyder Cult bitches, get your pre-orders in.
Where's the attempt number two at Pattinson? Because like
Hmm.
his bat suit it wasn't great.
That's probably gonna have to wait until the second movie comes out.
Damn. Even then, that's gonna be a new suit.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, there's
eh,
always figures.
yeah. You know what I would love? Because it would make no sense considering the movie. An amazing Yamaguchi Pattinson figure.
Yeah.
It's like he's not hit any pose like that. He is a stiff fucking stompy boy.
90% of his acting is with his eyes in that movie.
But imagine Robert Pattinson Batman just pulling off amazing Yamaguchi poses.
Mm-hmm. Uh, Here's a question because I've seen some of this chatter pop up again in the last couple weeks because there's also talk that there's going to be a Super Bowl trailer for that movie, even though that makes no goddamn sense because the script isn't even finished
Yeah,
yet.
no.
But um, are you in the camp or are you not in the camp that wants Robin to be in the second The Batman?
I want Robin in because that makes the most sense as the next part of the story.
Yeah. I
'Cause
am I am right there. I love all the fan art people were doing of that Batman interacting with a hyperactive, super happy little Dick Grayson.
because that's the whole point of the first movie is realizing, oh, vengeance and anger isn't going to solve the problems of Gotham. I need to be something more. I need to be hope. And what is the next step of Batman realizing, oh, I need to be hope? It's, oh, I don't just need to be hope. I need to be hopeful. And this kid is making me hopeful and a better person.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Uh What villain though? That's the big thing. Is people keep going like, "Oh, what villain should you use?" And it's like, so many good ones. You know what? What's the serial killer who does the tally marks?
Zaz.
Yeah, why don't just do Zaz?
Mm-hmm. I think there's a lot of people who want to make the pick of like, oh, this character's never been in a movie or never been done right in a movie, and those people would be like, well, Zaz was in Batman Begins for 10 minutes, and it's like, shut up.
No, but no, I want like let's give Zaz a moment, let him be this big, scary serial killer of like, oh, we dealt with a terrorist, now they already confirmed Clayface. I haven't heard any confirmation on
Oh,
Clayface.
Clayface was rumored. I don't think he was ever confirmed.
Yeah, because
Um,
there's in the same
Here's
vein.
an idea though,
Yeah.
because another thing about that movie was playing up like how like the Waynes manipulated Gotham and their money was manipulated and all this.
Uh huh.
Hush.
Ooh, that should make sense. I was just thinking, we're talking about the movie's all about like Pattinson's Batman dealing with emotional trauma and everything. Strange, Hugo.
Ooh, ooh. Give you a reason to bring back Joker and Riddler too.
Mm-hmm. You know what? They could fuck with Hush. Make it Hugo.
Oh, you know who's never been done properly in live action, even though every fucking show loves to bring him in?
Condiment King.
No, no, no. Deadshot.
Ooh, Deadshot would be cool. I was just thinking, it'd be fun to see like a cameo from Maxie Zeus.
Maxie Zeus. Black Mask would be a good pick if you wanna go more along the mob angle.
Yeah, yeah. Ooh. Okay, follow me here. Batman becomes Hope. Someone takes up the mantle of vengeance, and it's Killer Moth.
Yeah! Let's go.
And he has to like actually go like, fuck, I was kind of a dickhead. I don't want to be that as Batman. You know?
Yeah.
There's our Batman talk for the final podcast, everybody.
I'm actually kind of looking forward to the Penguin show at this point.
Yeah. I mean, it started filming. I don't know if it's done yet after it picked back up after the strikes.
I remember hearing it halted production during the strikes, but I
Yeah,
haven't heard it going back into production, so maybe they were waiting until after the holidays.
maybe. But first things first, we got to talk about some comics.
Yeah, it's Kramik book time, everybody.
First things first, we have Immortal X-Men that basically unleashed an entire bombshell of bombshells.
This issue, there's a lot of really fucking. This is a great week for comics. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie. It's hard to pick a favorite this week, but this was a really good roller coaster of an issue.
Because basically they explain they reveal what the Dominion is.
Mm-hmm.
It's Nathaniel Essex.
Which I mean, you kind of could have guessed that from Sins of Sinister, but oh man, is it still a great reveal here to have the second Sinister character going like, I'm gonna get into the Dominion, I'm gonna get out of here, fuck all of you, and it's like, nah, fuck you.
But here's the thing, it's the original Nathaniel Essex. He turned himself into an AI. That's how he did it.
Yeah.
And then he just made Mr. Sinister and all of them to fuck around and find out.
What a guy, what a lad.
What a guy, what a lad. Great moment between Charles and the Sinister in his brain.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Destiny just being great in this issue. Hold me up so I can kick her in the face. I need I am weak, but I need to kick her in the face.
Yeah. First book in a while where I'd say it's really worth it to read all the info pages.
Yeah. Just really good. Immortal X-Men.
Mm-hmm.
We're nearing the end of the Krakoan era.
It's almost time.
It's almost time. I read Avengers Inc. number 4.
Is this the last issue?
Second to last.
Okay.
And they revealed the big mystery, you know.
What dubious it be?
So basically they get on the case of all these lower level D-list villain crooks dying and disappearing. So they get on the case, they talk to Moon Knight, they get him on board, and they run into Hank Pym, and he goes like, "All right, cool. So because of the Ant-Man mini, I got separated from Ultron, and I was able to get back here, but I was old, and that it just aged me a lot, and I'm just fucked up, right? But here's the thing, I swear Ultron survived. Ultron's somewhere. So I am gathering all these lower level crooks to do what I say so I can fight Ultron. Because I don't want to risk hurting my friends.
But
Right?
also, Hank's a normal dude again.
Yeah. Hank's a normal dude. He's old, but he's a normal dude. He's no longer a corpse suit. And everyone's just going like, okay, are you sure there's an Ultron? And then Hank Pym gets stabbed from behind by Vic Stone Whirlwind as he goes like, "What's up, Dad? I'm Ultron."
Fuck.
So Janet's been teaming up with Ultron this whole time. Like Hank says a line that makes him go like, "Oh, wait a second, I'm Ultron."
Damn it.
Oh.
For a second there, I was like, "All right, Marvel, where's my book where Nadia and Hank finally meet? When are we gonna do it?"
uh yeah, no. It's a sad thing that this book is getting canceled so soon, but Ewing is wrapping it up in a way that's satisfactory and feels whole,
Neato.
you know,
Yeah.
which is the best you can ask for. We both read X-Force number 47.
This fucking issue, dude.
This fucking issue is just all these hardcore fucking characters going like, fuck, I love you guys. I care about every single one of you.
Just tons of little moments of like, hey, here's a little treat, here's a little win for you after waiting for all this bullshit of the post Hellfire Gala books, and then right at the end, here's another swift kick in the balls.
But like, there's some great moments of like Akihiro and the Speed siblings are show up and like everyone's
You're fucking alive. I'm fucking alive.
and fucking like there's a moment where Akihiro's just like, "Hey Dad, do you want to say anything? Like, you're proud of me or anything?" He's like, "I don't need to say that. I am proud of you. You're like, you did good."
Wolverine is like one of the most, and I think it's because a lot of older fans just didn't care for Akihiro early on. But Wolverine is like one of the most unsung dads in comics. But I do appreciate that little moment of like, yeah, I fucking love you, son. Why do you need me to say that? I thought you knew that.
Yeah,
Like that's such a Wolverine moment.
and his relationship with Quentin is great because he like treats Quentin as an equal, but like when Quentin gets mind whammied or whatever, like he's often meditative thing. He's like, "You're still a kid, and I shouldn't have pushed you that hard. I'm sorry." It's like, ah.
But then, like, shout out to my boy Quentin for finding out his girl's alive and just immediately being like, fuck it, nothing else matters. I'm getting my bitch.
And like his powers, it's like immediately like, "Oh no, nothing. Nope, I'm helping." Power of love. And nobody like gives him shit for it afterwards. It's like, "No, you saved her. You seem like everything seems all right. You did good. Come here, hug."
Yeah. And like, fucking Percy has, like, don't forget, Percy has been writing X-Force the entire time since the Krakoa reboot. And he's still carrying on that plot thread of, like, the weird relationship between Colossus and Domino.
Oh, and Colossus just being like, "Look, I fucked up. I wasn't in control, but I still fucked up. So I'm doing the one thing I know I can do to help, which is grow us food because we're gonna need it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, yeah, fuck.
It's good shit. It's good shit. And fucking next month we're finally doing it. We're finally gonna get rid of shithead Beast.
Also, there's a great moment where like Domino goes like, "You were on the quiet counselor for fuck's sakes. Is there no information you can give us?" And Colossus like sits on it a moment, and he just goes up to Wolverine and goes like, "I need to fucking tell you about Sabretooth. What about that fuckhead? You're not gonna like it." It's just it is just the hardcore characters just being human for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
It's
It's
so
it's
good.
the best kind of comic book issue where a ton of bullshit just went down, and now we're taking a moment to let the characters breathe and interact.
Well, Beast is setting up a sniper shot. And I love his what he says is like, "Oh, I'm so glad you all survived. Shame."
He's like, "Oh man, this is great! I get to kill you myself. Fucking fantastic!"
I fucking love this version. I want to see old school Beast come back and be happy, fun, and jolly, and a good guy. Don't
Mhm.
kill this Beast. Let him get mangled in some way and become a villain.
This is the new Dark Beast.
Come on, let's do it.
Mhm.
Just let him be skulking around. It'd be hilarious.
Mhm. Every once in a while, he's the new shithead villain, the chicken shit who just every once in a while shows up to ruin everyone's day.
Yeah. Another villain has a plan and it's just like, hey, I need this thing and it doesn't matter who wins, I just need to get it. So see ya, peace. Uh Next issue. I finished Predator versus Wolverine. This is the final issue.
Hey, how'd that go for you?
It's good. It is really good. It is a love letter to Predator, it's a love letter to Wolverine, and it ends in the best way possible.
So,
Um okay, do you remember the end of Predator 1?
yeah.
Where Arnold gets in the mud, he hides, he attacks the Predator, mortally wounds him, and the Predator's like, "Nah, I got a nuke."
Hmm.
He's fighting Wolverine. He stabs the Predator. The Predator starts the nuke, and Wolverine goes like, "Fuck you, bitch," and just stays right there and walks away because he's Wolverine.
That's great.
Like the Predator just fucks himself completely. God, it's Wolverine. It's so great.
Oh man, I'm gonna read this as soon as I can, and I want this book on the couch next month, Sal.
Also, there's a great moment where the Predator's like sees an eyeball in the mud. It's like, oh, I found him, and he goes to grab, and he just picks up an eyeball. Wolverine tore his own eyeball out, stuck it in the mud to trick the Predator. It is pure like looking at Wolverine as a character, thinking what he can do and what he would do to fuck with this alien.
Great.
Uh, Also, we get a flashback to the time he would have been fresh on the X-Men.
Hmm.
Um, and the Predator came and hunted him down then, and like it blows up the mansion, knocks out Charles, whole big kerfuffle, and like it's good.
Nice.
It's really good. This is the best first impression a Predator versus book for Marvel could have had.
Very clean.
Yeah. You read Pinkawan.
Hey,
This man
this is
wearing this man wearing mittens.
he do be wearing mittens. He's chilly in there, boy.
This man is
Uh,
wearing mittens like Bernie Sanders.
so this is the final recruitment issue.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we've talked about several times in this book about it's like, oh, the Penguin goes here, and we dredge up this character that Tom King wrote before, or that's a fun obscure character nobody's done anything with in a long time, and we kind of reinvent them in this way, and we get a little bit more with them here. And this is another one of those where I think Penguin even says it at the end in the big last page reveal. Let me see if I can get down there real quick. So yeah, he says he has his muscle, which is the help who came along in issue 2, his goons, who are the Force of July, his concierge, which is oh gosh, I'm forgetting her name, but the romance comics character who is his ex-wife. And now he has his spy, somebody who is working for his kids kind of unwillingly and has grown to hate them recently. And that is Black fucking Spider.
Hmm.
Basically, this whole issue is just finding out what he's been up to over the last few months. Where the whole issue is really about addiction. It's a big discussion of like how the mobs in Gotham kind of use addiction to control people. Where he's like, I used to be addicted to drugs, then I kicked the habit. Then I found out my boyfriend needed this particular drug to survive. So I went back to being a supervillain because it was the only way to get the drug he needed was working for your kids. They would pay me in that drug, and I became addicted to killing people, so much so that after a certain point I couldn't do the job they needed me to do, where his job was to instill fear in people. It was that kill everybody except one person to spread our legend kind of thing. And after a while, he just couldn't do it because he kept coming up with excuses to be like, fuck these people. I'm just going to kill them all and leave a note. And every time the Penguin kids would be like, that's not what we told you to do. Fuck you. Here's your punishment. Do better next time or it's going to be worse. And he just kept fucking up until eventually they kidnapped his boyfriend and he had a run-in with Batman, and now he's like, all right, I'm at the end of my rope. The only way I can fix this and break my addiction is to give in to a higher power. So, Oswald Cobblepot, what do I do?
That's gonna do wonders for the Penguin's ego.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm God?
Yeah, but no, it's a pretty good little issue. I'm still really enjoying this book, and I'm interested to see what the actual taking down of the Penguin's kids is going to be like for here on out.
Hell yeah. We both read Spider-Man by Ziegler.
Hey, more Miles doing things.
With the backdrop of gang war.
Yeah, there's a lot of just villainy chaos going on that he's dealing with, and the cops being dickbags as usual. But more importantly, when did Rec Rap get a Miles suit?
That's not Rec Rap. That's a different character.
Oh, okay.
I think that's from the previous, like from an older Miles run.
Okay, I did not recognize that at all, and I'm like, I only know a Spider-Man guy that's that beefy by one name. I guess it's Rec Rap because they don't ever say his name in the issue.
I mean, Spider-Side is also that big.
It's true, but I never think about people using Spider-Side. But yeah, no, it's just more solid character interaction, building towards stuff. We get to see the first confrontation between Miles and the Prowler after a while, and it goes about as you would expect. And
it's like, what the fuck are you doing, Uncle? Shut up! Don't do anything. Get out of the way. You're doing illegal shit, Uncle.
Yep, it's the basic dialogue you'd expect, and then at the end we get a bunch more heroes coming in to help Miles.
Oh yeah. Also, the Enforcers are here.
Yeah, somebody remembered the Enforcers exist and took them seriously. How about that?
Good book. Good book.
Yeah.
Also, you don't need to know anything of going on in gang war to love this book.
Definitely.
Speaking of gang war.
Hey.
So, what's
happening? You read some Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi? He's basically using his family gang to protect Chinatown. And going like, all right, I'm going to make sure at least these people are safe. And all of the, like, his main dude, like his main confidant, is like, yeah, no, that's fine, that's cool, whatever. You're doing your job. But like his current like second in command warrior dude is like, yo, it's chaos out there. We could get more territory. And Shang-Chi's like, no, we're not trying to be expansionists. We're just trying to protect what we care about. Right? And the guy's going like, and things happen. He has to use the rings, and he basically goes like, fuck anybody who steps on my turf. You're gonna get it. Like, be big and scary. And Spider-Man shows up and goes like, so, Shang-Chi, what are you doing? Why are you doing the whole crime family thing? What's going on here? And it's like, are you being a bad guy? Do I have to take you down? And Shang-Chi's like, no, we're just trying to do this. We're doing all the protecting this area. And Spider-Man goes like, all right. So long as you're not trying to be a big gang war thing, I'm going to let you do your thing while we deal with bigger fish. That okay? That is okay. Cool. Bye. But Shang-Chi's 10 rings get kidnapped. And basically the whole thing is the second command warrior dude is like, yo, you are... I accidentally jumped forward.
You hit the button.
I hit the button. Basically he goes, yo, if you really wanted to protect people, you would. You would go over and take over all the territory and control this island with an iron fist. That way you could really protect people. And it's all this kind of stuff. But but Shang-Chi was actually like letting his guard down to trick his second in command to make that statement and fumble so he could take him out because he suspected him.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's basically it's just going like, what's Shang-Chi doing? That's good.
Yeah.
Especially if you like the previous Shang-Chi stories.
I like how the placement of the moon makes it look like Spider-Man about to do a big anime power blast.
That's the wrong Spider-Man to do that, though.
You
know damn.
That's why it's silly.
You know damn well Miles, when he started having the Venom Blast, was like, can I? And he did the Venom Blast and tried to do a Kamehameha.
No, Miles is too young for that. He tried to do like a freaking Sharingan trick.
No. Shit. That motherfucker is Hispanic. He fucking watched Dragon Ball.
I don't know, dude.
Come on. The Flash, number 4 by Size Barrier.
Hey. The fucking dad energy in comics this week is off the charts, huh?
The dad energy, but also this is very heady.
Mm-hmm. But this is like the kind of heady I can get into where it's grounded in character stuff. Like, not gonna lie, this run is starting to give me Morrison Animal Man vibes.
I can see that. You know what this one issue reminds me of? The Ballad of Barry Allen. That one song.
Yeah. And that song is so funny because it's called The Ballad of Barry Allen, but really, thematically, it is about Wally West, because that's how he's always been written in comics.
Ballad of Barry Allen just sounds like a nicer title.
Yeah. But yeah, no, really, really solid little issue about Wally just exploring this new plane of existence and constantly getting lost in it. Well, Irie and Jesse go have a little adventure.
Against the souped up Mirror Master. Like, all the rogues are getting beefed up powers. And it's like, oh, damn.
Mm-hmm.
That's fun. I like that.
Yeah. Also, I just realized this is probably your first time reading a lot of stuff featuring Irie. How you liking that character?
She's fine. She's precocious.
Yeah. She's pretty much standard superhero daughter who also have powers.
Yeah. The cute gimmick of not being able to pronounce certain words.
Mm-hmm. And she apparently has force sensitivity for the Speed Force.
Yeah. Good book.
Solid stuff.
Good book. I read part 6 of 6, 183 of Spectacular Spider-Man.
Hey.
It's good. Good. They're able to calm down Vermin enough to get him back to the hospital to be taken care of. And Peter is basically fighting Harry, going like, "The fuck are you doing, Harry? Harry,
Hooray!
are you okay, Harry?" And Harry's going like, "No, I fucking hate you. Ugh. I'm running away as Green Goblin. No more Harry." And Spider-Man's just like, "Oh God, fucking damn it. Oh, my life is chaos. I'm just gonna let him go. See if it just give him some space. See if he calms down. Till then, I can process the trauma of my parents dying finally. And you know, you win some, you lose some.
How about that?
It's good though. Damn, that was the 30th anniversary of the Fantastic Four in '91.
Maybe you should read some FF books from that year.
Maybe. Who knows? But we also read the annual 2023 for Superman Action Comics.
The finale of Philip Kennedy Johnson's run on Action Comics. And I think he stuck the landing pretty well.
Yeah, it's good.
Kind of thematically brought everything home, had a nice big epic conclusion and a few really solid Superman moments, while also sneaking in a moment for each member of the family too, I thought.
Yeah, the twins get their names. They are now officially Star Child and Red Sun.
Mm-hmm. Uh, and again, dad energy, a lot of Clark dadding hard all over this issue.
Yeah.
Good Etrigan stuff too,
Good
by the way.
Bloodwind.
Mm-hmm. I I couldn't even remember that character's name last issue, and after this, I was like, oh, hey, maybe I should read some Bloodwind, because I've only ever seen him pop up and stuff. Uh, but then when you get back to Earth Prime, I think is what they're calling it right now,
Yeah.
because they say it a couple times in this issue, but I forget if that's exactly what they said. Um, there's great moments with the rest of the family doing crowd control against Blue Earth, and then teaming up with Blue Earth to fight the Al Ghul warships.
And I love how they just go like, "Yo, you wanted to protect Earth. This is a chance for you to actually do that. Nut up
Hey,
or
on
shut up."
the I fucking love my wife so much. On the same page, after the blimps come in, Kara punches a Blue Earth guy in the face and says, "Idiots! Now do you see what you've done?" And then on the bottom of the page, she's like, "All right, fight with us. Come on, let's go."
Soup
She
Girl.
contains multitudes.
Two sides of that coin. Anger, not anger.
There's a couple little fun bits of oh god, what's his name? Connor and Keenan double teaming dudes.
Yeah. I want to make a joke that John's the one that's bisexual.
Mm-hmm. Actually, I don't think John is in this issue, is he?
No. No, he is. I don't think he's. I think didn't. I don't know. Fuck me.
He's probably somewhere, and he just didn't stand out to us. But then
He's
they
on the
wrap
cover.
up, yeah, they wrap up again with another like really solid little bit of the former criminal guy talking to his son about what makes Metropolis and the Superman family so great, and then we get a thing that left me so goddamn hungry for a new Supergirl ongoing. I'm sorry.
Of her
I'm
just being
sorry.
a
I'm totally
teacher.
normal. Yeah. Like, that fits her character so well. And I'm like, how has nobody ever thought of that before? How is there not a book capitalizing on that right now? What the fuck?
Hey, maybe the next person taking over Action Comics will keep the ensemble cast and do
Maybe.
something with that.
Please, Jason Aaron. Please and thank you.
Oh, he's doing another team book? Never mind.
Yeah. Also, in that panel, I didn't realize it until after I posted it in your Discord server. Kara and Natasha are totally making eyes at each other. That's something some editor at
No,
DC is pushing right now.
I didn't see that. I went back after you pointed that out. I didn't see that. She's looking down because she like it's just her talking. Why would they be making eyes at each other in front of kids?
I don't know. I'm just like, they both have similar kind of I'm interested in this looks. They're facing each other. And then like there was that issue of Hot Girl a few weeks ago where Supergirl said she's noticed Natasha staring at her ass.
Mm.
I'm like, there's some agenda going on right now. And I'm not against it, but like,
It's called queer
what?
baiting.
Yeah.
Uh,
But no, overall, this is a really solid conclusion to Johnson's run. I wish it hadn't gotten cut off like it did at the end of the year, but given that he got 2.5 years on the book and he got to make all these really nice little changes to the character and his world, I'd say it's one of the best runs on Action Comics probably since Morrison left.
yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Yeah, highly recommend checking it out if you haven't already.
I read Sensational She-Hulk.
Hey, I saw panels from this book floating around, so I take it was a good one.
Yeah, it's a good one. They fight the one crazy woman person that is a She-Hulk villain, and basically they have a moment of just going like, "Hey, what's going wrong, Bruce? I'm not Bruce. I'm Hulk. The fuck you talking about? You're both my cousin. I don't give a shit. What's going on?" It's like, I am currently a horror character and I hate Banner. Fuck off. All right, Jesus. Bye.
That has the same energy as like Batman dealing with Two-Face in modern comics, where he's just like, Harvey, we're friends. You've reformed like 6 times now. Cut the crap. And he's like, no, the writer wants me to be a dickhead right now.
Yeah, it's good. It's good in this. The Avengers are going like, hey, we need to talk to She-Hulk, but she's not taking her calls. Let's just get Patsy to talk to her.
Fair enough.
Yeah. It's good. It's good. It's a continuation of the She-Hulk book, and it's been solid and delightful.
Yeah.
Though I find it funny that now that they're Sensational She-Hulk, they're going with more semi-actiony covers and not the romance comic covers that they were doing for the last one.
It's almost like marketing might have stepped in and said like, hey, you need to get actual comic readers in on this now.
But those covers were so good.
They were good. I'm not saying they weren't, but I just know how a comic book executive would think of that.
Yeah.
Especially if the sales weren't up to snuff, which relaunching at #1 kind of says they might have been.
But it's the sales were enough to keep the same creative team.
True.
You know. You read the Sabrina holiday special.
Yeah, I kind of feel like I got clickbaited into reading this, not gonna lie. Because the lead story and the cover are the artist that did Kelly Thompson's Sabrina the Teenage Witch mini with her a few years ago.
Mhm.
And Kelly Thompson does write the lead story, but the lead story has almost nothing to do with the holidays. It's literally just, oh, it is Christmas time, but also this girl at a school Sabrina is going to got kidnapped by a demon, and now Sabrina's going to go into the demon realm to save her.
Okay.
And then there's a second story that is actually holiday themed because it's the ants telling Sabrina about their first solstice in the human city that they live in, which it's an interesting thing about this book. They keep saying because we're witches, we celebrate the solstice, we don't celebrate Christmas, but they're also like doing a lot of inherently Christmassy things to celebrate it.
Well, a
And I'm
lot of
like,
Christmas yeah.
I know that a lot of modern Christmas celebrations are like a weird fusion co-opting of pagan solstice traditions and Christian Christmas traditions. But also at one point they're singing a song, I forget what song it is, but at one point they're singing a song that I'm like, That is a Christmas song from the 1940s. I know that came about after the fusion. That's a little weird, especially because you're just changing the word Christmas to solstice. But other than that, it's fine. It's cute. I mean, if you like Sabrina, this is worth checking out. Just know it's not going to be the most holiday thing in the world.
Yeah. She is so fucking pale on that cover.
Yeah, they it's funny, like on all the covers for Thompson's run, they draw her really pale, but in the interiors, she has like a reddish tint to her face.
You also read some Wayne Family Adventures.
Yep. Final one of these, so I figured do one final check-in on Wayne Family Adventures, and it happened to line up pretty well because they just this week posted their season finale for the year. Um, I guess just basically picking up where we left off last time. Uh, there is a one shot called There Can Only Be One, which is about um, Dick Grayson and trying to remember who the other character is, uh, and Jason Todd going with Roy Harper on a day where he's taking Leanne to the county fair, and they're like constantly competing to see who can be the coolest older brother figure. And it's really cute. I really like the way the book draws Leanne. Uh, then there's a one shot called PhD, which is literally a bunch of Joker goons capture Damien. He wakes up in a cell, and then Harley Quinn comes to save him, and she's like, "I'm Batman's only friend with a PhD. Isn't that cool?" And he's like, "Who cares about that?" And then it's like a whole little thing where it's like, "Yeah, you should stay in school." Well, should I? Because most of Batman's villains have PhDs and they're all fucking psychopaths. And at the same time, Spoiler and Red Robin are there and they're like, oh shit, Damien's making a lot of good points, but he. And then Harley Quinn is like, no, the kid's going to school.
Go to school.
Yeah. Uh, then there's Don't Be Mad, which is just a funny little one shot about Spoiler and Orphan getting back from a mission and being like, we accidentally broke a piece of equipment and trying to make up like a complicated story about how it happened so Oracle won't be mad about them. And it's all just like goofy lies. Um, then there's Haley, which is a fun little one shot about Tim cleaning Dick's apartment because he tracked mud all over it, and Haley constantly getting in the way and trying to like fight the vacuum cleaner and stuff while Dick's like comedically narrating it.
Aw.
Um, Light and Dark is a two-part story that's just kind of like a little like uh summation of Damien's character and like his own doubts and pitfalls and sort of discussing his better points with Dick in the second half. Um Even the Best Detective is a one shot where Damien overhears Bruce talking to Alfred about a mission only he can go on, and he thinks like, "Oh no, this is a really dangerous thing," and Father thinks he might die, and we have to go help him, and he gets the whole Bat family to come with, and they're like, "Oh man, there's this really dangerous booby trap under this cloth. We have to destroy it now before Batman gets here, so he won't be hurt." And then it turns out like he was destroying like a table with a romantic dinner that he had set out for him and Selena.
Aw.
Um, and then the season finale is Batman and the Signal, which is Duke gets kidnapped by the Falcone crime family, and it's basically a big booby trap to try and kill Batman, but he breaks out on his own, and Bruce is like, "Oh, that's some bullshit. They took you to get to me." We've been kind of just letting them get by without doing anything too crazy because we didn't want to disrupt the gang ecosystem. But I'm calling everybody in. We're taking down the Falcones tonight. And then in the second part, it's him and Duke going to the Falcone headquarters and doing that with a bunch of little callbacks to moments with Duke all throughout the series. Because don't forget, the first chapter was literally Duke moving into the mansion, and he's kind of the main character of this.
The way I
And it
see
does,
it is like all the Robins are Bruce's sons. Duke is his apprentice. Like,
yeah.
I care about you. I will love you, and you're not my son. You're my apprentice. I am training you.
He has more of like a Roy Ollie relationship with him.
Yeah, you're already a teenager. You're already an adult. I want to be a mentor and a teacher. That's what I want to be to you. And I think that's the same with Duke. Duke wants that too. Same thing with Spoiler. Spoiler, I feel like it's like, I want to teach you. I'm not gonna parent you.
Mm-hmm. And it ends with basically everybody going like, "Hey, great job, Duke. We're all proud of you." And I had a little moment of like, is the series over? Did I not hear that it got canceled or something like that? And then it ends in a little like, the book will return in a few months. We're going on break.
Yeah.
So
that's something I
yeah.
appreciate, like a lot of webtoon creation. It's just like, yeah, it comes in seasons, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty decent little final chunk of Wayne family adventures, I thought.
Yeah. Good. We both read Green Arrow #7, aka Ollie has minor depression.
Mm-hmm. Uh it's kind of interesting. It feels very much in line with Judd Winnick's run on Green Arrow, right when he came back from the dead the first time in the 2000s. Where he's just kind of going around all throughout the beginning of this being like, the fuck happened? Where's the Justice League? Why did this change? Why did that change? He's like a reader who lapsed for a few months.
Oh yeah. And he just talks to all his friends. He goes, it's like, yeah, things are different a little bit. We're still talking. The group chat is still around. You're still invited to the group chat.
But unless it's happening in Kondak.
Yeah.
I love the implication because it's like it's not a screen or anything. It's just a picture of Black Adam against a background. I love the implication that Ollie went all the way to Kondak just for Black Adam to go, "Who are you again?
Who the fuck are you?" Right, you're Batman, but worse.
Also on that same page, one of the out of context comics panels accounts on Tumblr pointed this out. Aquaman's daughter is the fastest aging kid in comics.
Damn. No, that's John, because at one point he was 10, then he became 18.
That's true, but there was like a whole story and a retcon about that.
Yeah, I'm joking.
This kid was like a baby before the pandemic.
Damn.
Yeah. But wow. No, get a solid little scene of Ollie and Hal catching up because remember those two are besties. And I love the conversation about like, so are you ever going to have kids or like a proper sidekick? You know that is not how my book works.
I am in space way too many times.
Also, just like a little reminder that, like, yeah, all of Ollie's sidekicks are his kids in a way, though he doesn't directly father them.
Yeah, they are. You know what? You know what it is? Batman and Superman are that picture of the dad holding the kid close to their chest in the ocean. Ollie's the one holding him by the ankle.
Yeah, and then like to further hammer that home, we then go into a scene of him with his literal blood son, and he's like, "So yeah, Dad, I double and triple checked, and it's not an alternate universe, and nobody's a robot. We're good."
Yeah, no, I just wanted to make sure everybody acted normal, but it's so wild that they would close the Justice League.
And then we end off on a reveal that, hey, the best thing Kevin Smith ever did in his entire life is coming back.
Oh, and it's such a great reveal of just him above the window. Crash. I imagine he can replicate onomatopoeias perfectly, but every once in a while he just says the word.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's like onomatopoeia is a great idea, great thing. and it maybe has like one or two good stories.
Mhm. Also, with this issue, I got a little like reminder of my own personal trash taste of like, oh yeah, that's right. I love every Green Arrow costume. I couldn't possibly decide on what costume to get as a Green Arrow figure if I was just gonna have one on my shelf.
I like this guy, this current one. It's good, solid
Hmm.
design.
I love that one. I love the classic. I love the longbow hunters. I love the looking like a swashbuckler one. They're all great.
Yeah. Also, reference to Birds of Prey.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
my
like
girl's just
Dinah's not in the book right now because Birds of Prey is canonically happening at the same time as this arc.
and I'm happy to let her go do her own thing because we're a confident couple.
Hmm. And I love that he says that at the same time as he's talking to Batman, and then he just directly goes to like, so what was happening with you and Selena last week? And he's like, shut up.
It's complicated. You two are drama queens. I'm not arguing against that. Buddy. I read Spider Woman.
Hey, what do Julia be up to right now?
She's fighting the good fight. She's fighting bad guys, and she's climbing up and fighting Hydra. And she just gets to Madam Hydra, Viper, and she just goes, "Where's my baby? Where's my fucking child?" And she goes like, "Haha, fuck you." That's the book. It's just like, all right, I'm fighting these guys. I'm trying to deal with everything. Fight, 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 fight. Where is my child?
Pretty sick, man. Pretty cool.
It's good. Yeah. Here's the thing. I don't know if it's great in comparison to like what when Spider Woman was pregnant because I think that was a well liked story and I hadn't read it.
That
So,
seems like
it's a while.
it's hard to remember because that was almost 10 years ago now.
That was all new, all different.
Mm-hmm. Almost 10 years ago now. That was like 2014, 2015.
Yep.
But I remember that being really divisive at the time. Like I had some friends who were actually reading it and going like, "This is really cool. This is a really interesting take on representation in comics." And then I had a lot of friends that were going, "That is the stupidest fucking concept ever, and it makes her look like a dumbass."
Oh, the same thing that happened with Spider Woman in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Of why is she fighting crime while pregnant? Yeah.
Because it's a comic book.
Yeah, but to a certain extent, it's just like in the same way you don't want a wrestler faking a concussion. It's just like that's a bad idea, dude. You know?
Yeah.
I read Ghost Rider.
That's a pretty sick cover, not gonna lie.
So you know how I was saying like, oh, they're hyping up the girlfriend to be a new Ghost Rider. No,
Did she die?
not exactly. So they're doing this whole thing. Johnny's fighting, and like saving kids. He's like he takes all their sin away, so all the kids are like now like free of the will of Mephisto and all that stuff. Meanwhile, Talia is going to fight the ex-boyfriend, and they're having this whole big thing. And she's like, you know what? I should have done this fucking years ago. Makes a circle, drags them both to hell.
Does Ghost Rider kill people? Axel, Ghost Rider's whole job is to send people to hell.
Yeah. Though he can save people from their sin.
Mm.
But basically, as she's dragging herself and her ex-boyfriend to hell, just going like, fuck this. Johnny just gets there and goes like, no, hold on, let me save you. He's just like, it's too late, Johnny. Be good. Close the portal. Johnny's just like, the fuck? And literally the whole last bit is just like, my family's dead, my love's dead, my new girlfriend's fucking in hell. Being Ghost Rider fucking sucks. See you next issue.
How about that?
Oh, see you next.
Year, everybody.
Literally, the see you next issue is Mephisto going like, fuck you, Johnny Blaze. He just shows up and goes like, fuck you. I'm gonna fuck with you. It's good.
Pretty good.
It's pretty good. Benjamin Percy knows,
man. Pretty cool.
Benjamin Percy knows how to write the weirdo, edgy Marvel characters.
Mm-hmm.
Doing good on Wolverine, doing good on Ghost Rider. Let me double check because that seems very violent. You read Red Sonja.
Yeah, the end of this arc of Red Sonja. Before we get too deep into this issue, do you want to guess what I fucking hyperfixated on this liminal spaceness?
What?
The entire publishing history of the Hyborian Age universe.
Huh.
Which is the combined universe Conan and Red Sonja occupy. Because we've been talking about this, I've been getting steadily more and more interested in this kind of barbarian fantasy for the last year. And then something just snapped in me this week, and I was just like, wait, so why the fuck is Conan and Red Sonja a separate license again? And I can't believe this isn't a thing more people talk about, because Red Sonja was created by Roy Thomas in the Marvel Conan book.
Uh-huh.
Robert E. Howard had nothing to do with her creation. He had been dead for like 15 years by the time she was created. And that's the guy who wrote all the original Conan stories. But when they were making the Conan movies, which was when Marvel still had the Conan license, I went to my comic book store on Boxing Day.
Oh, did you get a Marvel Conan?
This is a black and white reprint of the Conans. The interior is black and white.
I don't think that's a black and white reprint. I think that's a magazine. Marvel did black and white magazines for a while.
I'm almost certain this is like a reprint of some kind, because it says on the bottom, bonus, the latest on the up-and-coming Conan film. So I feel like this must have been done to promote that first movie.
No, because
here's the other thing I found out about.
Okay, continue.
Arnold didn't just do one Conan movie.
Yeah, you do.
There's technically a trilogy. Because there's Conan the Barbarian, the one everybody knows about in parodies. There's Conan the Destroyer, which I literally couldn't find very much info about. I did find a decent torrent of it, so I'm going to watch it at some point. And then when it came time, they wanted to do a third one. But he asked for more money because that was the point where his star was starting to rise and he could ask for more money. And the people making the movie were like, fuck that, we're going to make a Red Sonja movie instead, and we're just going to have you out for a couple days of filming to cameo in the first few scenes. And so there's a live-action Red Sonja movie from the 80s that is technically the final movie in Arnold's Conan trilogy. And because of the way they had to license the rights for it from Marvel, they ended up buying the rights in perpetuity. And now the rights for Red Sonja rest with the estate of one of the executive producers of that movie. And that estate formed a company that just exists to license Red Sonja. So the rights for Red Sonja probably should belong with Marvel or Roy Thomas if we want to be really optimistic about it. But instead, whenever a company wants to do Hyborian Age stuff, they have to license Conan from Robert E. Howard's estate, and they have to license Red Sonja from the estate of this random ass producer.
Huh.
So that was stuff, and I spent a whole day untangling this last week. And then I read this comic, and this is a decent little finale to this opening arc. I could see some people getting upset about it because it does end with a literal Deus Ex Machina, where everybody dies, but the god that was trapped inside the like mystical artifact Sonja was transporting gets freed, and he's like, I kind of feel bad about causing all this, so I'm gonna bring Sonja back to life. And then he fucks off. and leaves her in a freaking convert. Um, and it's a decent little finale. It feels pretty in keeping with the storytelling conventions of Hyborian Age stuff. Um, but I don't think this is an arc that's going to be like particularly well remembered by people for years to come. This is just like it's not bad, it's not great, but if you want a Red Sonja story, these first few issues are worth checking out.
It's fair. Is it just me or does this cover look 3D? Like 3D rendered?
Yeah, I think it might have been. This is technically the second cover. I just grabbed it because it was the least
Cheesecake?
risque.
uh, and we both read Batman Santa Claus Silent Night issue 4.
The finale of this book, and yeah, it wraps up pretty decently.
It wraps up delightfully. It wraps up with a nice bow, and everyone gets a happy ending.
Yeah. Fucking sounds like they're blowing up cars down the street. But yeah, no, really like how this book ended up focusing on Damien a lot. I didn't expect that, but it works because he's the youngest hero in the book, and it's the first time in a while where I've seen him written and he actually kind of feels like a kid.
Yeah, he's a naughty child.
Mm-hmm.
He's naughty.
Typically, people tend to write him as just like either an adult in a child's body or a rebellious teenager. In this, he actually feels like a kid who's having some issues and is working through it via this superhero adventure with Sandy Claus.
Yeah, but they're able to save Krampus. They're able to take down the real bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
And Santa goes like, "Hey, I need to do my new my Christmas thing. The elves are just gonna make you guys dinner because you guys deserve it." And so all the heroes that helped out just have a big fucking Christmas feast.
Yeah, I love that little touch of like, hey, it's my workshop. It's magical. I'm able to make toys for everybody year round because time works differently in there. So you can go in there and just chill out and have dinner and be merry
and relax.
And nothing's gonna get fucked while you're not paying attention. Don't worry.
And it's just it ends in just a very nice moment.
Mm-hmm.
It's delightful. Can't wait to see Sal and Tiffany talk about it next year on Christmas.
Yeah, pretty good little book. I'd say if you're a comics fan, this should be in your Christmas media rotation, along with stuff like Batman Noel and Klaus. Did you watch Linkar's review of Klaus?
Yes.
What'd you think?
Good jokes.
Yeah.
And that's mostly what I watch Linkara for. It's like, oh, I recognize that book, and I want to hear some funny goofs. I don't go for Linkara for like deep critical analysis.
Yeah, honestly, we had much better critical analysis of Klaus.
Don't fucking blow smoke up our own asses.
Oh, you know I had to get in one last plug. Go check out the Analytical Fanboys episode on Klaus, everybody.
But that is it for this episode of No Prize Podcast, and it's it for this man, this jolly little man right here in the red shirt.
Yep. Tonight marks my final appearance on YouTube, and as I mentioned in the final video on the Vacuuminator channel, I did prepare a little stuff that I wanted to read before we close out. If Boingo doesn't mind foregoing the usual plugs and whatnot.
Real quick, I'll just do this. Watch my shit. Follow me on social media. There we go.
Like, comment, subscribe to Modular Media. But at this point, there's very little left to say. You can find out all my reasons for leaving and what I plan to do in the immediate future by watching my last 4 videos, and you can hear my love for Modular and my fellow creators on last Friday's components. Now, all that's left to do is to make it clear one last time that I have loved this. But my future lies elsewhere, in some other career. just as all yours belong with the other creators of Modular and the greater online space, and not with some cranky old dickhead like me. One day, though, I shall come back. Yes, I shall come back. Until then, there must be no regrets, no tears, no anxieties. Just go forward in all your beliefs and prove to me I am not mistaken in my. No. Sorry, that's Doctor Who. I don't have any intention of coming back at this time, but I truly do not regret any moment of this, be it no prize or anything else I've worked on. We may rarely have had a huge audience, but we always tried to do the best we could to make something worthy of one. And at the end of the day, that's all any creator can do besides hope it works. I'm not the only one who's been hoping this would work over the last 12 years, though, so before I go, I would like to take a moment to thank everyone else. Firstly, to my mother and father for always supporting me, even in times where they probably questioned my choices. To every creator on this platform who inspired me for doing just that. To the members of the Vacuum and the Network for indulging a bad idea and having some fun along the way. To the ML crew for helping me through an awkward period of my life. To the creators behind Power Rangers Megaforce for giving me my most successful video. To Database Ranger for being the closest thing to a mentor I have ever had and a good friend. To Boingo for being the best friend I wanted for so long. To Cody for being the friend I never knew I needed. To Buster for being the friend
It's a
has
little
always
sibling.
challenged who has always challenged me in the most wonderful
You
ways.
got a noogie buster.
To Michael, Hamid, Buster, and Bryce for being my patrons. To Bryce again for helping me get a new video mic this year. And most importantly, to everyone who subscribed to my channel or commented on or liked one of my videos. Thank you. I love you all. Respect yourselves, respect others, respect those around you. Remember that you never truly fail until you stop trying. Have a great rest of your lives. Thank you, and goodbye.
Enough said.